The best part about African food, and specifically the African diaspora, is we build complex flavors and dishes. Right. Let me build complex flavors and present it to you in a way that you haven't had before. I start with the red onions, I salt the red onions, add pepper to the red onions, and then from there we start to bring and add flavors to it. This is like my jollof powder. Curry powder. So Ghanaian chilies, roasted red chilies, straight from Ghana. Scotch bonnet peppers. My friend from North Carolina, his father grew these for me and shipped them to me. So canned plum tomatoes, sea salt, ginger root, garlic cloves, mackerel, and then this is chicken stock, and then later I'll add in some bay leaves. So for now, we'll add the garlic. Add in the ginger. Then I'll add the chilies. So because this is going to be a stew, I have an immersion blender that after I start to build these flavors, I'll blend everything together so that the ginger and the garlic and the onions are all combined. So you'll have an even stew. And because I'm using an immersion blender, I don't need to take off the skin of the ginger. Because people peel the ginger skin because it's fibrous, so it gets stuck in there. But what I do is, once I use the immersion blender, that fiberness comes and kind of gets stuck on the blender, and I just pull it off from there. So, curry powder, jollof rub, and this is where you start to build that complexity of flavors. Habanero, Scotch bonnet peppers with seeds, and keep it all the way spicy. Then season with salt again. So I'll try to break this up. Plum tomatoes. Again, I don't like wasting flavor. Chicken stock. Together. And bay leaves. So we'll let that come to a boil, and then we'll let it go down to a simmer. And then after it boils for about 30 minutes, then we'll emulsion blend it, and then it'll be a stew. We'll let it reduce in half, and then it'll be ready. I'm using my immersion blender, so instead of transferring the ingredients into a blender and then blending it up and adding it back in, I'm just using the immersion blender to blend up all the peppers, the garlic, the onions, and ginger, so that it's all uniform together, so that as it stews down, it becomes a complete sauce. And the good thing about the immersion blender is you can do it while it's hot, and then I have a protective guard here to protect my pan. So this is the same stew that we're making now. So this is the suya. I cooked it over charcoal. I only cook it halfway through so I could get the charcoal crust on top of it, but I also am able to manage the cooking process on the stove. So I only cook it halfway through. I'll chop it finely like a cheesesteak, and then I'll cook it through before I serve it. For you, I'll just fry them today. Caramelized onions, they take a while. You'll get fried onions. Chicken parm sandwiches, and I'm just like using that skill and technique and just translating it here. Quarter of liquid for every cup that I do of rice. So we're doing 3 cups of rice today. So I need some chicken stock. Where's my stock? Let me get in here. About 1 cup, so I just need a quarter now. That's it. And as that comes to the boil, I'll wash my rice.
Joining me. For today, we're doing something a little different on my channel. I'm sitting down with a good friend of mine, Ryan, and he's going to tell us about his experience as a chef, as a cook, whichever one he addresses himself as, and we'll take it from there. So Ryan, why don't you tell the people who you are and welcome to the CJTV channel.
What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Brown of BrownsTestKitchen. It's my Instagram handle, it's my hashtag, it's just my culinary explanation to the world. I'm a cook, I'm a chef, whatever people want to call me. Ultimately a lover of food. By trade, I'm a tax accountant, and just like to show my passion of cooking with people.
So you would say you enjoy cooking?
Yes, yeah, I absolutely love cooking. I've been doing it since I've been young.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so early on, so BrownsTestKitchen was a creation of my Instagram. I was just cooking at home, and people wanted to see what I was doing. And from there, I would just create crazy dishes and share with my followers. And from there, it just became a passion project where I created a menu and cuisine and shared it with the world.
Gotcha. Wow, so you would say you have been in the kitchen for a while now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned from my mom, which is my grandmom. I learned from my mom. I remember being young and cooking omelets for my Aunt Joyce,
okay,
who is my dad's older sister, and even to the extent of like just having pictures of me making grape juice and adding iced tea to grape juice, which is a weird combination, but it works really well, and having my brother and sister being my guinea pigs.
Okay. So you had a great influence of people in terms of when it comes to cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. So my foundation in food world is soul food traditionally. I'm a African American from South Philly, grew up in Deptford, New Jersey. So, and then my mom, and my dad's side also all in North Carolina. And what happened was I got sick of making the same soul food, macaroni and cheese, greens, sweet potatoes, fried chicken and all that. And I was like, I wanted to kind of explore and learn more about myself.
Okay.
And what I've done is through that and through even a relationship with you, I've kind of like learned about the heritage that I lost in food.
Gotcha.
So basically, because of African slave trade, African Americans who are in the States have lost part of their culture. And a part of me finding that culture back is I found it through exploration of food. So I call my pop-ups Lost, a culinary journey through the African diaspora, because I want to show people that journey that I went through of finding myself, but also highlighting similar cuisines of people from the diaspora.
Gotcha. So another question I have for you actually is, how long has your business been in operation? Because I know you've been cooking at home for some time, but now it sounds like you're actually an official business, correct?
Yeah. So it's been about a year now that I've been operating fully. We started with serving dinners on an Eat With platform, which people came in as a social dining experience. People come into my home, I have a table, strangers come and meet, and I have a 3 or 5 course meal planned out for them that they pay in advance. Corona hit and I had to shut that all down, which is understandably the restaurant world got hit pretty hard. But once my wife and I felt comfortable, we started doing takeout dinners out of my home. Okay. So selling takeout meals and just kind of pivoting while still sharing that culinary journey.
Gotcha. So for now, where can people find you when they want to have a taste of Ryan's Test Kitchen?
Yeah, so they can find me on my Instagram handle at BrownsTestKitchen. And then I post when we're going to have a pop-up event or when we're going to have a takeout menu. The full menu will be on there, and then a link to where you can purchase the food. You pay in advance, and then we deliver, or we allow you to pick up the meals at a location.
So these pop-ups, are they usually local, or is it Northeast based, or?
So they're Philly based. My next pop-up event will be at Herman's Coffee Shop in South Philly. It's November 16th. But for the most part, they're located in Philly. I have people who come from Delaware and Jersey to come pick up food.
Nice.
So I appreciate the love and respect there.
You're doing something right.
Yeah, I'm doing a little something right. People are enjoying the food, but ultimately I want to be respectful of the culture and the cuisine that I'm highlighting with those dishes. I started off in Ghana. Thanks to you, you introduced me to the lovely country of Ghana, and specifically the food. Shout out to Akuz, who has amazing food in West Philly, and that journey has gone to Nigeria and South Africa. These are the main 3 areas in Africa that I'm gonna highlight. I will eventually highlight more areas throughout the continent, but I also highlight other areas of the diaspora. So I have influences of Puerto Rican culture in my food, thanks to my lovely wife who's from the island of Puerto Rico. I love the food that comes out of Haiti as well. So I want to highlight anyone has been touched by the diaspora. So an easy question is like, does it have plantains? If it does, it's been hit by the diaspora.
That's a good way to target it.
Yeah, so you'll see soul food influences like pound cake. You'll see Creole influences like shrimp and grits. But you'll have also like mashups in which one of my dishes is a suya cheesesteak. So a Nigerian-based kebab that is cooked with caramelized onions, but it has a like highlight of Philly, so it's on an Italian hoagie roll. It's kind of like respect to Nigeria, but at the same time, ode to my hometown.
Makes sense. So is there a special meal you like to cook when it comes to these different cultures and these different influences in terms of like all this plethora of places you cater to? Do you have a preference over the other, or it doesn't really matter? Or
so as long as it's spicy, I'm for it. So growing up, my family, I had an uncle who we would just like share hot sauces with one another, or we went to Jamaica and found a hot sauce lady, and we kept asking her for hotter and hotter and hotter hot sauces, and she was like, if you want a hotter hot sauce, you just got to make your own. And it was like to the point where it was like, we love it. So learning and going through this exploration, my connection with the culture is like, all right, I do like hot food, and there's a reason because my culture enjoys it as well.
Right. That makes sense. And yeah, I've actually had some of your meals, and they're really, really good. Honestly, you're doing a great job when it comes to serving the culture. So props to you for that.
Appreciate that.
We're in the Corona time, so I'll give you that prop.
Yeah.
And what do we have in front of us here? I'm excited to jump in.
All right, absolutely. So one of the things is I love rub. So my family is from North Carolina, so I love barbecue. Okay. But what you'll see is yeah, rightfully so. So I have a traditional barbecue rub here, but then I also have 2 other seasonings or rubs that highlight within a culture. So one is a jollof rub. It's a specifically a Ghanaian jollof rub that has like cumin and peppers. The peppers are from Ghana, and I made sure to highlight it that way. But then I also have a suya rub as well that is that I use for my cheesesteak. So we have these 3 rubs here, and eventually I'm working on and building it to the point where I'll sell it. So I'll have a barbecue rub. I'll also have a chicken fried rub, so that you use to season chicken, and a Cajun rub as well. So you can smell them and kind of give them a taste. This one's the barbecue rub, so you taste the little sweetness and the smokiness with it. And then this one we have here is the jollof rub. It'll be familiar to you.
Definitely does.
And then the last one is the suya rub. And off the bat, you'll smell the roasted peanuts with this one.
Yeah, that hits you right away.
Hits you right away.
Yep.
So both of these, the jollof and the suya, of course, is spicy. And then the traditional barbecue rub is a sweet one. But another thing is with my dinners, I like to sell ice cream and desserts with it.
Right, my favorite.
Yeah, so what we have today is I have my traditional base vanilla ice cream, and I have a new ice cream that I'm testing, and this one's a watermelon ice cream.
Okay,
so we'll try this.
I'm kind of the test guinea pig
for
the watermelon one, but I'm excited because he makes great food.
So this is what BrownsTestKitchen is all about. It's about trying new things, crazy things, and just allowing people that I love to be the guinea pigs of it.
There you go.
And of course, I made enough so you can take it home with you.
That's very important.
And then the next one is the watermelon. So it's the same base as the vanilla ice cream, but what I did is I made a watermelon jam and folded that into the ice cream base. So enjoy.
Thank you.
Which one are you going for first?
I mixed the 2
together. You mixed the 2 together.
Really good. So I have had the vanilla one before, as we spoke about. The strawberry one, let's just do that by itself.
Watermelon.
I'm sorry, watermelon. It does taste good.
Good.
It hits you at the end.
Okay.
I tasted that a lot at the end. That's really good.
Yeah, so I don't get the smell of the watermelon. But I agree with you, you taste it at the end. So what I would do is, because I like the fruit flavor to be more forward, I'll fold more watermelon into it.
Okay.
And then for this one, since the jam is so sweet, I would add a little pinch of salt to kind of enhance it. And this is what recipe testing and tasting is all about, is seeing what works, what doesn't. Maybe I change the recipe for the jam where it's a stronger flavor and not as sweet, so that when I fold it into the ice cream, it'll be perfect.
When you mix it together, the blend is really amazing.
That I would have to try. Then you have to just turn it into an ice cream sandwich.
Which is not a bad idea.
That's what BrownsTestKitchen is
about. Watermelon and vanilla.
Yes. It does work really well together.
It does. It really does.
So that just means to me that if I make this further, that I might have to incorporate more vanilla into it to highlight the flavor.
Okay. So you've been doing this long enough to just know. Well, how do you come up with these ideas? Does it just hit you in the shower, or what?
Inspiration hits me everywhere. I have a dream of food, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, I should do this. My wife will say something and says, I want to eat this, and then out of nowhere I'll say, ooh, well, if we eat this, I can do this with it.
Right.
Or I'll watch TV and it'll highlight something. I do a lot of reading, watch a lot of YouTube videos of different chefs and different people from parts of the world and what they enjoy and like cooking. And then from there, I just try to do it and put my own spin to it.
So it sounds like you respect a lot of cultures. Do you travel to these cultures to see what people live like, how they cook, what influences they are cooking?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely. So for the longest time, I could not make rice. And rice is a foundational cooking item in the African diaspora.
that is correct.
And I went to Puerto Rico for Christmas with my wife. And we had a wedding planner when we got married, and my wedding planner taught me how to cook rice.
Okay.
And she taught me how to do it in a traditional Puerto Rican way, but that translates to jollof, it translates to diri akjonjon, which is the black mushroom rice in Haiti.
Nice.
It translates to all these cultures, and what I love doing is experiencing cultures like that. I've been to South Africa and got to experience abroad, so when I make my border sausage and highlight that dish, I want to pay respect, but also it connects me to that experience that I had traveling.
That is really awesome. And this is really good. I appreciate you for coming on the channel, by the way.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so much
me.
for this, and thank you so much for this great ice cream. And guys, as he said, you can follow him on his platforms. I'll be sure to put it in the description below. And what else do you have to say? One final word to the people.
Final word is love food and keep eating it, and enjoy it with the people you love.
There you go. But before we cut, last question for you.
Okay.
Would you consider yourself a chef or a cook? And what's the difference? If you
I-
don't mind breaking it down for us.
For me, I'm a cook. People have called me chef. I think it is a title that you earn throughout the industry. So I think it's a level of expertise that you attain.
Right.
But for myself, I'm just a person who cooks and wants to share the food that he has with the world. I don't care about the title, but I also want to respect those who earned it.
I really love that about you, and I really love this too. Thank you so much for joining us again, and guys, be sure to check us out on the CJ TV channel and follow BrownsTestKitchen on all your platforms, and be sure to order your food online once it becomes available to order. And outside of that, thanks for joining us.